Okay, guys, welcome to Wednesday's edition of Student of the Gun Radio. Can you hear me okay? I'm having to adjust my microphone a little bit.
We can hear you.
My studio setup is good, but it's not great. It could be better. Oh, I made the mistake during the break of actually reading some news, and I shouldn't have done that because it just depresses me and makes me angry. And I'm looking for a clock tower. I've got a tower close by. It's not a clock tower, but it is a tower. What are we going to talk about today? We got a Brownells Bullet Points for you. Good ammo is still in stock. We have a Student of the Gun Homeroom talking about being dangerous on demand, and we're also going to discuss and consider the awakening and just what that means to us as a nation. Jarrad is here. Zach is here. And I'm hoping that the music is queued up and we can get this thing started.
Hey, guys. Thanks for joining us.
All right.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, yes, indeed. All right, now, number one, I'm going to go ahead and hit this again. Right now in the United States of America, there are literally tens of thousands, maybe 100,000 or more people who went out and bought a first gun. They bought a first gun because they thought that they should. Now they own an object. Congratulations to them. Most of them don't even realize what they've got. It's just a thing that they thought they needed to have. Now what we need them to have is we need them to have some education. We need them to have some information. And this is where you come in. Because, well, if you're a dedicated listener of Student of the Gun, or maybe you're one of those people who are brand new and you started going to your favorite podcast application and keyword searching gun.
Welcome.
Or firearms.
Welcome.
Yeah. So if you did that, good job. What you can do right now is click open on the show notes, and there is a link to an article called My First Gun, 5 Simple Steps to Making Your First Gun Purchase a Success. And if you already know everything about guns and you're the smartest guy on the planet, that's great. Just share this. And then the people who don't have the information will have it. And it's really as simple as that. Oh, why do I keep putting that over the opening music? I don't know, Zach. I'm sorry. I apologize. You can change the order if you'd like to. What do we got for you guys today? We've got a Brownells Bullet Points for you, and we're going to hip you to what's actually going on in the ammunition world. Unlike the Obama scare, there actually is still ammunition available. Boom. All right. Brownells Bullet Points brought to you by Brownells. All right. This is, I guess, this is the most common. We talked about this the other day with my experience going to the Rollins Walmart. And they didn't have any, there's no 22, there was no 9mm. Of course, they got rid of evil handgun and ammunition because it's terrible.
Except for 22. Because they make 22 handguns, and I found I don't remember what the website is. I'll have to look it up and find it. But all the ammunition is in stock on this website that I found.
Really?
For normal prices, yeah. There was 22 on there. You can get 5,000 rounds for it was normal price. I can't remember how much it was.
Well, I went to Brownells, and if you just click the ammo tab, the generic ammo tab, right? You just click ammunition, and it'll bring up the top sellers, okay? Now, what they've done is they put the sale items, they push the sale items to the top, but the other things that are top sellers are for instance, Wolf 7.62 by 39, top seller. Blazer Brass 9mm,
yep,
top seller. American Eagle 5.56, top seller. This is all like those things that I just named, the Wolf 7.62, the Blazer Brass, the American Eagle. That is all that's the ammunition that the newbies and the amateurs buy, right? That's because they're price shopping.
Yeah.
Oh, amateurs and newbies are going to go price shopping for ammo. Whatever's the cheapest. They don't care what brand it is. They don't care the bullet weight or the design or anything. They just want what's cheapest. That's what they wanted, and that's what they bought. And now that's all gone, which is fine. One of the things that I thought was interesting is that Brownells has the shorty shells from Challenger Ammo.
Yep. Brownells is the only place I've been able to find those.
They're on sale.
Yeah.
So if you've got a Mossberg, and I'm wearing my Mossberg hat today, if you've got a Shockwave, or if you've got a Remington TAC 14 or whatever, and you want to fill it with these shorty shells, A, I highly recommend it. And B, not only does Brownells still have them, but rather than raising the prices to try and take advantage of the panic, they put them on sale, which is pretty righteous. That's pretty cool. So all of you guys out there are like, well, there's no ammo available. No, there actually still is ammo available. But the bottom feeder stuff is gone because that's what amateurs and newbies buy.
Yeah.
Is they price buy whatever's cheapest.
And one thing that I've noticed on Brownells is that some of the stuff, it'll come back in stock, and I assume that their system has a back in stock notification. So it sends everybody that subscribed to the notification, hey, this is back in stock. So it's back in stock for a very short period of time, and then they sell out, and then they have to wait for more, and then it comes back in stock, and then they just repeat that process.
Yeah.
But they do have quite a bit of ammo here in stock. You know, when the ammo scare or ammo buying started, everybody was out of ammo for about 2 weeks, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing a good job at keeping stuff in stock here.
Yeah, a lot of these online distributors, like we talked about on Monday, all these online dealers, they were waiting for stuff to backfill. I'm actually getting pretty much every day emails from people saying, hey, we have ammo.
Yep.
Now, not all of it is the really good prices. Remember, I told you, I'm like Rush Limbaugh here. See, I told you so. He wrote a book called See, I Told You So, and he was right, and I was right. When I said, hey, 5.56 ball is like 28 cents a round now, buy it. 9mm ball is 19 cents a round, buy it. That same stuff now is 35 cents a round for 9 and 49 cents a round for 5.56. But if you're looking for serious ammo, I'm assuming that the vast majority of my audience already has a pretty good amount of practice ammo or screw around ammo or training ammo or whatever. And we mentioned this before at length. When it comes time to do real stuff, you need to buy real ammo. The white box cheapest thing that you can possibly get is not what you are going to use to do God's work. And when it comes to doing God's work, you need to have good stuff. And one of the things that they've got is they have right now in stock Black Hills. It's the Mark 262. If you don't know what a Mark 262 is, that's the 77 grain OTM open tip match 5.56 ammo. If you need to shoot something that is made of flesh with your rifle, people are like, well, I've got a rifle caliber carbine, right? I've got a fighting rifle. I've got a 16-inch M4. I've got a whatever. What should I put in? And I'm like, what are you going to do with it? Oh, it's my home defense rifle, my home defense gun. Okay. Well, people are like, well, how accurate is that out of a 10.5-inch barrel? Dude, if it's a home defense gun, how far do you think you're going to be shooting? If it's a home defense gun and you're like, I'm going to have to take a 300-yard shot, pump the brakes, Sparky. It's going to be really hard for you to justify in open court why you had to cap that dude at 317 yards. That's not a home defense. That was not a home defense shooting. Yeah, that was a sniping. Yeah, you're going to have a hard time. If you have a rifle that you keep as a power tool in your house, the question about, well, how accurate is it, is completely and totally immaterial. It's accurate enough to hit somebody 17 yards away. You know, if you want to know, take the longest tape measure you got. If you got a 30-foot measure, 25-foot measure, whatever, and find inside of your home, put your back against the farthest wall and measure to the next wall, the longest clear shot that you'll have, and then tell me what it is. This is when you say, oh, well, I have an actual long hallway because my house is shaped like a rectangle, and it's 16 yards total. That's how accurate your gun has to be. You have to be able to hit a man-sized target at 16 yards with your home defense rifle. So quit worrying about, the minutia of like, well, I don't know if it's accurate enough. It's like, brother, you're not shooting prairie dogs with your home defense gun. Now, that might be fun. You could do that later on in life. But the fact of the matter is, if you have a rifle caliber pistol, that's a power tool. And you need to put the best ammunition in it that's going to get the job done. And I'm here to tell you that I know from experience, both my own experience and experience of others, that the 77 grain open tip match, the OTM, the Mark 262 out of a 5.56 gun does God's work. All right. And if two or three cracked up a-holes want to kick in your front door and come in your house and threaten your family, this will make them not do that anymore. So they might be out of Brownells and Midway and all these other places. They might be out of, the cheapest stuff. They might be out of the cheapest 9mm. They might be out of the cheapest 5.56, 223, and that's fine. But if you need ammunition to really do serious work, it's still in stock. It's still available. And the cool thing about Black Hills is, now, if you know about Black Hills, you can't call Black Hills Ammo up and say, send me one box of 9 or one box of 5.56, because they won't sell it to you from the factory. But they will sell it to you through Brownells.com. So for all you guys out there that are like, oh, I don't need a case of Mark 262. I only need 2 boxes. Okay, great. Go and get it. And you're like, yeah, but it's $1 a shot. Back again, you're like, what are we doing with this? It's kind of like a tourniquet. If you're bleeding to death, is a $40 tourniquet too costly? Is a $33 tourniquet too much? I'm bleeding to death, but I'm not spending no $33 on a tourniquet.
Yeah. Same thing with quality ammo. If you need it to save your life, then it's good to you've got to have the good stuff.
Yeah, it's beer like, it's like, let's have some perspective. You're using these cartridges to keep yourself and your family alive. Can you afford $1 a shot to keep 3 cracked up a-holes from raping your wife and children? Let's have some perspective, kids. I hear people like, oh, I wouldn't buy that because it's too expensive. Like, you're an amateur and you don't know what you're talking about. Thank you very much. So the good news is, if you need real quality ammo, or if you need shorty shells, they're actually on sale. So get your butt over there right now and pick those up. That is your Brownells Bullet Point for today. And we actually dropped a link in the show notes for you.
They've even got
Century Arms.
They've even got 22 shells over there.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, 22's in stock right now. Maybe not by the time this releases, but we'll see.
I did a ammo check the other day. I don't shoot enough 22 anymore. I really don't. I have a 30 caliber ammo can filled with loose 22.
Yeah.
Do you know how many 22 cartridges you can put in a 30 caliber ammo can? Fill it to the top.
A lot.
That's almost a lifetime's worth. I'm going to have to work hard to get to the bottom of that can. I'm just saying. All right. So thank you to Brownells.
Over there.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Actually, I've got two 10-22 rifles that I need to zero. That's going to be one of my projects for the very near future. Go to Brownells.com, sign up for the newsletter so you don't miss a special.
Magic. Go to DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com, pick up some badass finish, and participate in the badass challenge that we're doing. If you go to studentofthegun.com or just open up the show notes, click on the link that goes directly to the informational article about this badass challenge. It'll tell you everything you need to do. The synopsis is essentially pick a project, go to DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com, get the colors you want to do, get the colors you want to use, the templates that you want to use as well. They have gun tattoos that you can use. I recommend Student of the Gun or Fighting Solves Everything. Pick up that stuff, do the project, post pictures on the interwebs, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Use the hashtag Student of the Gun, also hashtag Duracoat, and also hashtag Badass Challenge. And we will be reviewing those. That's actually coming up really soon. 11, 12, 13, 14. Today. We're picking the winner today as this releases.
No, I think we extended that, didn't we?
Oh, did we?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
we should. We really should extend it.
Yeah, because all the
stuff that happened.
2 weeks, it was the whole world was like, ah!
So they were buying toilet paper instead of Duracoat.
Buying toilet paper. Ah! Ah! Yeah. So and drinking bleach. Drink bleach.
Let's extend it out to May 15th. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I think we ought to do that.
Cool. So we should update that on the post sec.
Yeah. So I'm telling you guys, don't think that it's too late. Get your freaking stuff, do your projects, have a good time. Focus on it. That's a cool thing about a gun project, whether it's a finishing project or a build project, is you get to go to your workshop and just focus on that.
Yeah.
And not all the other crap that is around you. You can just focus your attention on something productive, like building or making something or assembling something or doing something creative. We talked previously about doing creative projects and how that is a mental relief for people. You could be the Bob Ross of guns. You could be the Bob Ross of black rifles.
Black Rifle Bob Ross.
Black Rifle Bob Ross. If you guys don't know it or if you haven't looked, Duracoat has some really badass template patterns. You can buy a template and all these... you've probably gone online or Instagram or whatever. You go to Instagram and you see these super sexy gun photos of all these, cool camouflage, tiger stripe or whatever things. You're like, wow, I wish I could have something like that. You actually can. They have the directions. They have the how-tos. And you can get everything you need to make your gun look like that if you just try. If you just take the time to do it. So... check those guys out. Who else? SWAT Fuel, they have the 9mm plus P in stock and the vitamins. Use the promo code SOTG. Speaking of things being in stock, Zach is going to tell you right now about stock and stuff.
ShopSOTG.com is the perfect place to go if you are a student of the gun. Whether you want to expand your brain, increase your marksmanship, or help keep your family safe. All that plus the pimp hand brands that you love. ShopSOTG.com has almost anything that an American patriot would want. Education, enlightenment, and entertainment, and we're open 24/7. Check out ShopSOTG.com today and see for yourself.
All right, and as a reminder, we've got the Fill Your Go Bag promotion that Zach did, and right now we believe that your family's safety and security is essential. And unlike other people who have tried to bend you over and fornicate you,
we will not.
Doubling, tripling, quadrupling their prices, we have not.
Yeah. In fact, there's a couple things in there that are on sale.
Exactly.
Because we love you.
While other companies are using this crisis to fornicate you, we are actually trying to give you what you need. I know you guys have training. I know you have experience and you have education, and we want to make sure that you have all the stuff that you need in your bag to keep yourself and your family safe. Speaking of which, Jarrad, let's remind them about the Legion of Michael training program.
I was actually just thinking, hey, I should probably talk about this on the radio because I haven't yet. what we did is there's been a pretty big uptick in requests for online training because there's more people using the internet now than ever before. So what we did is we kind of changed the structure of the Legion of Michael course a little bit. If you go to legionofmichael.com, you can sign up for the course. You can complete it at your convenience now. So the course is in there for you to do. And then we have a live Q&A session on the last Wednesday of every single month at 5 p.m. Mountain. So you jump in there. All of these stuff, once you sign up, all of the information is available on your dashboard in Legion of Michael. You have the schedules, the links. You even had to add a calendar button for the live Q&A sessions. And you can go through the course at your own pace. You don't have to be tied to specific dates anymore. Previously, we had done 2 Sundays in a row, 2 hours each. The course is in there ready for you to complete. We've got the quizzes and the tests set up for you as well, so you can get your certification at the end. And then I do want to make sure that I emphasize there's a live Q&A session. So once you get the course completed, or if you're having trouble completing the course and the test and you have questions, you just jump on. Dad's going to do a Zoom meeting on the last Wednesday of every month at 5 p.m. So you can just jump in there with him, ask questions live, and pick his brain. He's been a security professional for a very long time. And those of you that are listening that are already current Legion of Michael graduates, you also have access to the Q&A sessions. You can join as well. So just go to your legionofmichael.com. If you've already bought it, go log into the dashboard, and all the information is there for you.
And last thing on that, that was very nice of you, Jarrad, to include all that awesome features alongside it. But also, if you complete the, I'm trying to think how to phrase this. We got the Legion of Michael shirts ready for real this time. I said that like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And those are available only to people who have completed the Legion of Michael course. And obviously, people who have gone through the live courses in the past, we will send you a link and let you, if you would like the shirt, you can get it. But so you don't have to just do the new one. But if you want to redo it and then, freshen up your knowledge, that's also cool. Anyway, so the T-shirts are available now, and they're freaking snazzy as hell, if I may say so. Pardon my French.
But it's Legion of Michael.
What?
It's
Michael
snazzy
cast the devil
back
heaven.
down.
It's snazzy as heaven.
Cast him down into hell. So the uptick or the upshot of Legion of Michael is it's church security, and church security is about more than just I'm going to carry my gun on Sunday.
Yeah,
that is not professional security. A gun is an object. It is a tool. Your brain is the operating system for that and everything else. So it's about more than just security. Is about much more than just I have a gun.
Yep,
I have a gun is a tool. It's not a solution.
There are a lot of things talked about in the course that are just security related. Doesn't have to be specific to a church. Well, we also have church information in there as well. We tie everything in Legion of Michael back to church security. What I want to talk about right now is the fact that churches are doing a lot of their services on Zoom meetings and via the internet. This is a perfect time to get yourself up to speed and your security team up to speed and have a plan ready for when you go back to actual in-person services. Right now, if your church is doing their services online, there's nobody congregating together, and so there's not a huge security risk there for you. And so while the risk is low, take the time to educate yourself and when you come out of the Legion of Michael, you'll have a written plan, because that's part of the test is you get with your security team or you yourself. You write a plan, and then you'll have it ready for when you're back in session.
Yeah. And one other thing, I know we're kind of beating this horse, but there's one other thing that is a huge benefit of taking this training course is a lot of you like-minded individuals who are in our audience may have approached in the past, or you may be planning to approach your deacons, church elders, the minister, pastor, whatever, about having a church security team. If you don't have one now, you're like, well, I've been trying to, or I'm going to try to convince the church elders, the deacons, the whatever, to do this. And when you approach them, it would be far better to approach them and say, what I have is I've gone through a church training, a certified church training program. And they're like, oh, you have? What is that all about? And what does it involve? And then you can say, oh, well, it involves this. And you can just lay it on them, and they'll be like, whoa.
Like, boom, here's my plan.
Yeah, because if you approach the elders and the deacons or the whatever, and you're like, we want to have church security team, you're like, okay, what do you want to do? We're going to tell everybody to carry a gun. All my dudes are going to get guns, and we're going to carry our Kimbers, Hydroshocks, and alligator skin holsters, and woo! They're like, okay. So come across as an intelligent, prepared, responsible individual, right? If the first thing you say is, because I want to carry a gun, that's going to turn off 90% of them. But if you say, we have a plan, we have training, and this is what we want to do, they're more likely to say, oh, I get it now. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our Student of the Gun Homeroom, brought to you by our good friends at crossbreedholsters.com.
Boom.
All right. What is the theme? The theme. I want you to write a theme.
I want you to write a theme. I'm going to write a theme about being dangerous on demand.
That's right. The theme is Dangerous on Demand. We got a story from knoxnews.com, which is an affiliate of American Pravda. The American Pravda. If you don't know what the American Pravda is, you need to educate yourself. All right, Jarrad, once we destroy all these pop-up ads, go ahead and tell me what is the story of the day.
3 pilot employees killed in stabbing attack at Knoxville I-40 truck stop. I've been on I-40 through Knoxville before. Wait, yeah, okay. I was like, wait, did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
Knox County deputies responded to a reported stabbing at the Pilot Travel Center on Strawberry Plains Pike to find 3 people dead Tuesday morning. Okay, it says 3 people were killed and a 4th was wounded in a stabbing attack at the Pilot Travel Center. It was on Tuesday morning and it ended with a suspect that was shot and killed by a responding sheriff's deputy. The attack was reported to 911 shortly before 7 a.m. That's pretty early. And that was the Strawberry Pike, just off Interstate 40. Investigators have yet to establish a motive for the violence. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation spokeswoman Leslie Earhart said, "This is a quote. At this point, that's what we're trying to determine." End quote. All 3 women killed in the attack. I did not know that. All 3 women killed in the attack were the pilot employees. Pilot CEO Jimmy Haslam has confirmed that. The victims were Joyce Whaley, Patricia Denise Nibb, and Nettie Spencer. A 4th victim, who was a female customer, had been hospitalized but was released Wednesday. Why did this person hate women?
I don't know. The name of the suspect has been released.
I can't find it.
But I'm looking for a photograph. Yeah, the name has been made public. So I'm clicking through the story.
This is a quote from the CEO of Pilot. He says, "Today is a difficult day for the Pilot Company family. We are devastated to confirm the loss of 3 team members and the injury of a guest after an act of violence at our Strawberry Plains, Tennessee location this morning. It's with heavy hearts that we extend our deepest sympathy to the families and loved ones of the victims. We are providing support and counseling to the families and our team. We're working closely with local authorities. Please keep these families in your thoughts and prayers." Amen to that.
So you're probably thinking that the killer is probably a red-haired Irishman, or maybe a representative of the Southern Baptist community. The suspect was identified as Idris Abdus-Salam.
33-year-old truck driver from Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah, they're trying to portray this guy as a good old North Carolina boy. Durham is a big city, and who knows who lives there. But his name was Idris Abdus-Salam. I wonder why they couldn't find a picture of Idris Abdus-Salam. That's a good Christian name, isn't it? Idris Abdus Salam. Oh, Idris Abdus Salam. You know what I did? Well, I'm a high speed behind the scenes member of the media, and I am able to find things that the normal media is not able to find. I went to my browser and I typed in that name, and boom, I pulled it right up. There's a picture of him right in front of my face. Now, the people at the American Pravda were not able. American Pravda is USA Today, if you guys don't know. If you don't know what Pravda is, dear God, get an education.
Can you educate us?
Yeah, so I mean, I was able to find the suspect right off the bat, like, boom. But like I said, I am a high-speed member of the media who has access to things that the normal media can't find. Now, you guys are like, oh, come on, Paul. Why do you say stuff like that? Well, I say stuff like that because as many lies are told by omission as are told by deliberation. The United States media has an absolute 100% total agenda. And that agenda is not liberty, individualism, independent-minded thinking. That is not representative republic. It is the state is always right. People are peasants, stupid, and cowardly. They have to be controlled and ruled at all times. Dead babies are good, virus bad, stay home. That is the big media agenda. And if somebody is an NRA member, if they are a 52-year-old white NRA member from Virginia and they find out that they did something wrong, their face will lead in every single story. But if that person is not a 52-year-old white Christian male NRA member from Virginia, but something else, well, we're just going to bury that picture and that name because we really don't want people to know. We'll put it on like page 57, or we'll put it at the very bottom because we know people do what? Well, how do people consume news on the internet, Jarrad? The vast majority they consume
like
what?
Maybe the title and the first couple paragraphs, if that.
The picture, the title, and maybe the first couple paragraphs. That's how they base their opinions. And if you put a piece of information, if you exclude a photo and put the information like the suspect's name at the bottom of the story, they know that 95% of all people will never get to that, right? Because that's not the story. Now, when that little Caucasian piece of human excrement killed all those people in a church in South Carolina, his face led every single story. Every one. Why? Because the media agenda was we went to his house and we found that he had a Confederate flag in his bedroom. So we have to ban Confederate flags nationwide. We have to force the government to tell American citizens they're no longer allowed to own a Confederate flag. We need to engage in a process of censorship because this out-of-control crap bag committed a murder or several murders. My question to you here is, are members of the media going to find out which flags this guy owned, which books he had in his bedroom, and are they going to go on a campaign to convince every one of us that the books that this guy owned and the flags that he had in his house should be banned because they're symbols of hate? You tell me. Does everything this guy owned, every website he visited, every book he owned, are those symbols of hate that the government has to immediately ban? And you're like, no, Paul, that's stupid. Why would we do that? That's exactly what we did when that little Caucasian crap bag in South Carolina committed murder. Everything he owned, everything he was immediately suspect and racist. The gentleman who committed these murders, this Idris Abdus Salam, was not a little Caucasian kid. He was a non-Caucasian adult male. Is this a hate crime, Jarrad?
If we look back at the way other hate crimes were reported, then sure.
Yeah. They can't find a motive. They're dumbfounded. Because, and this was a stabbing attack.
I would say that it has to do with mental illness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like the attacks recent attack in France was mental illness.
Yep.
The recent attack in Germany was mental illness. It's not a pattern of behavior. No. These are individual lone wolf incidents that have nothing to do with anything other than one person. Okay, if I were to believe that, and I don't, but if I were to believe that, that still doesn't change the fact that you, my listening audience, are responsible for being dangerous on demand at all times.
Yep.
We have several lessons here. We have number one, the lessons is that the media will lie by omission. Anytime a fact of a story does not fit their agenda, they will just magically forget about it. Do you notice how they magically forgot about the murder at the brewery in Wisconsin? Did you notice that, Jarrad?
Yep.
That's no longer top of the, because it didn't fit the agenda, because it wasn't a 52-year-old Christian man NRA member from Nova Scotia or whatever. The suspect didn't fit the media's agenda, so they're like, oh, moving on to other things now. We're going to talk about this over here. Stop looking at that. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to be educated. You have to be aware. You have to understand. Now, understanding that the media will lie to us or lie by omission, and Jarrad, give me a rough estimate. Would you say that in the last 7+ years, we've done a good, bad, or medium job pointing out the lies of either deliberate lies, like using footage from Italian hospitals and calling it New York, Jarrad, has everyone forgotten that they used the Knob Creek machine gun shoot?
Yeah,
and tried to say it was Syria.
Yep.
And then they're like, that was an accident. What? They dropped in footage of emergency or of people dying or whatever, bodies stacked up in hospitals in Italy, and claimed it was New York.
Yep. We could say that we've had an awakening in realizing that the news media is not quite reporting the truth.
They're reporting their story,
right,
to support their agenda.
Yep.
Now, given that and understanding that and knowing the history of the lies, why in the world is the American populace taking what comes, like right now, we know that the media will lie to support their anti-gun agenda. We know that they will lie to support their fear agenda, their big government agenda. We know that they will hide and omit things that Democrat presidential candidates have done and will do in the future. We know this. But all of a sudden, every CV-19 report that the media gives, we're supposed to believe. Why? Because they wouldn't lie during a crisis, right? The media wouldn't lie. There's a crisis going on, so they're kind of like crooks in Houston. They're going to go back to business as usual after, right? They're like crooks in Maryland and Baltimore. Yep. They're going to take some time off from lying.
Probably. We probably need to transition into the main topic of the show because we're almost 40 minutes in now.
Okay, here we go. The awakening. Right now in the United States of America, we have a couple categories of people. We have people that are blissfully naive, woefully naive, and quite frankly have been found out. That was interesting. We've had people that have been found out and exposed themselves as not quite as strong and intellectually honest as they portrayed themselves to be. Jarrad and I'm not going to call it out by name because it'll seem like Schadenfreude, but Jarrad and I have been loosely members of a Facebook group for a long time that has claimed to be a group of prepared, independent thinking individuals, right? people whose main goal is preparedness, right?
Or they think it is.
Yeah, they portrayed that. They've said that in public. In public, up to this crisis, these people at this group have said, yada yada yada. I'm going to buy this kind of water filter, and I'm going to buy that kind of dehydrated food, and this kind of a fire starting kit, and a hatchet, and knives, and all this other stuff, right? And what we have witnessed in the last 4 weeks or so is people who have publicly, via the advent of social media, who have publicly displayed how they're not strong, independent, self-reliant individuals, how instead they have actually exposed themselves as the exact opposite, who have become apologists for the big state, who have tried to convince everyone that they need to shut their mouths and stay indoors and shutter their businesses. And, who cares if half of the small businesses in America are bankrupt? Who cares if hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Americans have been laid off or fired? Who cares? Who cares that we're wrecking the economy for over a disease that has a 1% fatality? Who cares? As long as we're safe. As long as we can be safe. And what I'm here to tell you is, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm gonna do another See I Told You So. You cannot separate mindset from gear and gadgets. And this is what we tried to do. This is the advice that I was given in reference to this group. The advice that I was given in reference to this group is, we don't talk about politics because that turns people off. We only talk about preparation. We only talk about, positive things. And what we've found is, when the chips are against, the crap is against the wall, or your backs are against the wall, that people who claim to be these fiercely independent prepper type people are not at all. They're not at all. And the reason behind this is something that's been obvious to me for a long, long time, but other people wouldn't listen to me. And this is when I get to say, see, I told you so. And if you don't like that, then sign off and venture forth and fornicate yourself. Go leave a message somewhere for someone. You cannot separate mindset. And it's like we've discussed. How many times have I said on this microphone that a firearm, if you view a gun as a hobby object, right? Whether it's for hunting or for sport shooting or for competition or collecting or whatever, if when you see a gun, you see an object that you use to play a game or engage in a recreational sporting hobby activity, then you don't understand the point of a gun. The point of a firearm in the hands of an independent free man. You see, in Europe, guns are toys for the citizens. Rich citizens are allowed to play with guns as long as they fill out the correct paperwork and pay the correct taxes. But they are not instruments of liberty. Just because people in Germany are allowed to go to an indoor shooting range, go to a locker, take out their .22 Auschwitz pistol, Anschutz.
I was like, what?
They're Anschutz.
Just checking to see if you guys are paying attention, that's all.
Yeah, their .22 Anschutz target pistol, that's a toy. That's not an instrument of liberty. People in France have said, hey, shut your mouth. We can own guns in France. And I say, do you have one on your body right now? No, of course not. You can't carry a gun in public. Only police and members of the state and, only the right people can carry guns. Then you don't know what you're talking about. It's not an instrument of liberty. And when it comes to all this other stuff that we talked about, whether, you know, all this prep stuff, all these knives and fire starting kits and all this and that, and like all these things that we love to talk about, if your mindset is not set on liberty, then it's all immaterial. It's just stuff. It's just toys. What do we say on Monday? What did Jarrad say on Jarrad? Jarrad, remind people what you said on Monday about mindset.
It can't be taken from you. Mindset and your thought process, your thoughts are the only thing that cannot be taken from you. It can be influenced, but objects, things that you own, guns, knives, prepping stuff, can be taken from you.
It can be lost, it can be stolen, it can rust, it can whatever.
You can lose it. It can be gone. But your mindset is always there.
And what I'm hoping is that we've had an awakening in America. I'm hoping
that's me too, man.
That
me too.
People are going to get fed up with this crap. I'm hoping that people are going to see the lies for what they are. I'm hoping that people are going to see the media scare tactics for what they are. You know, we talked about, you know, they said that, you know, there was going to be 100,000 deaths by this time. And instead it's 14. And we also know that they're inflating the numbers. If you have stage 4 cancer and catch coronavirus and die, you're not listed as a cancer death. You're listed as a CV-19 death. If you have pneumonia and you catch CV-19 and you die, you're not listed as a pneumonia death. They're pumping up the numbers, okay? And if you look at 330 million people and you divide 14,000 into 330 million, it's like 0.6 zeros and a 3. You're far more likely. It's like Jarrad said was it the beginning of this episode or was it Monday? I can't remember, about driving with Scott.
Yeah, it was Monday.
Yeah.
I saw, I'll reiterate because we might have some people listening today that didn't listen on Monday. And if that's you, shame on you. Go back and listen to Monday. I was driving down the road coming to the studio to record, and there was, you know, the highway patrol, Utah Highway Patrol signs. And they say, today they said there had been 51 deaths on the roads in Utah in 2020. A couple weeks ago, earlier this week, it said that the stay home, stay safe, coronavirus, blah, blah, blah. And so 51 deaths. Let me check out Utah as I record this real quick. But last time I had checked, we were at like 8 deaths, I think. So that's about 6 times the amount of deaths via vehicle as this coronavirus. And we're not being told to stay safe and stay home because of vehicle deaths.
Yeah, I just looked it up at this very second. I put COVID-19 deaths, Utah search.
13.
So, yeah, that's triple, almost quadruple, right?
Yep. For all intents and purposes.
It is quadruple.
Yeah, 3.9% or 3.9 times.
So they're not shutting down the highways. Well, that'd be stupid, Paul, because people have to get to work and people have to do things. You can't shut down the highways because 51 people died. You just give people, you know, suggestions, and you just say, hey, this is what you should do. You should pay attention. You should wear your seatbelt. You should do this. You should take these precautions so that you don't become one of the 51. But we're not going to arrest people for driving a car. We're not going to shut down every highway in the state because people are killed on the highways.
Or if you've got, you know, a group of 5 or more cars together, you're not going to arrest those people or harass them.
You were driving within 100 feet of another car, and that's dangerous. You know, if we would just, I got the solution, Jarrad. Do you want to hear it?
What's that?
We could make a law, and not a law, because laws take a long time. You have to go through the whole constitutional process.
Yeah.
Laws are tedious and cumbersome. The governor needs to do an executive order today commanding people on the highway to always maintain 100 feet between themselves and another car. So the governor today could do an executive order and make it unlawful for you to drive within 100 feet of another car, because we know that 90% of all fatalities involve two cars crashing into each other, right? 90% of all car fatalities involve cars colliding with each other. So if you would just do an executive order commanding the peasants to not allow their car to be within 100 feet of another car, you could eliminate all these deaths. I think we deserve a Marconi Award for this episode of radio, because we just figured it out.
Yep.
We just figured out how to prevent 90% of all highway traffic fatalities. An executive order forcing people at the point of a gun under threat of arrest to not drive within 100 feet of another car. That's all you have to do. And now, you illustrate absurdity by being absurd. People would say that's stupid. You can't live that way. You can't operate that way. You can't enforce something like that. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You mean kind of like telling people that they can't leave their houses even though they are healthy? They can't leave their houses even though their neighbors are healthy, but they might not be. 13 people out of how many? How many people live in the state of Utah? Utah, population. All right, the population in Utah, according to the World Wide Web, is 2,763,000. All right. So, according to that, so if you divide 13 by 2 million, or divide 2,700,063 or 763,000 by 13, that would be a fun thing to do. So give me the percent.
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros and a 4.
So you are 0.00004% likely to die from CV-19.
If you're a population, yes. We've had 13 deaths out of 1,976 cases, which is about a 0.66%. So
it's less than
1% of people that get it are dying.
So what we're doing right now, we're engaged in a process where we're destroying the United States economy. We're putting people in massive amounts of debt. People right now are using credit cards and they're mortgaging stuff. They're putting themselves in a massive amount of debt. A lot of people have lost their jobs, and now they're like having to go online and beg for unemployment. So that's the solution, is we create a problem and then we offer a government solution.
And the total reported people tested. So out of people tested that are actually positive is about 5%. So 5% of people that have been tested are actually positive. That's crazy.
And out of that 5%,
out of the positive, that's 0.0 or 0.66%.
Not even 1%.
Not even 1%.
So less than 1% chance. So that is the reason that you need to be put under house arrest by your mayor. Your mayor is going to put you under house arrest, send the police out to harass you, fine you. We're going to destroy small businesses. It looks like AMC movie theater may go bankrupt and have to shut down their theaters because they can't recover from the massive losses. They're going to have to file for bankruptcy.
And then I assume that a lot of their theaters aren't owned by them. They're leased property from somebody that owns the property, which is then going to lose the lease, which is then going to make them financially strained, which is then going to make their employees financially strained. It's going to be interesting.
Oh, but Paul, safety. But Paul, safety for everyone, safety. There was a guy named Paul, and he was an apostle. He used to be named Saul. Then he took on the name Paul. He wrote a little book called Thessalonians. And this is a couple thousand years ago.
Yeah, what does that have to do with society today?
Yeah. Jarrad, did you see the quote that I put up on my personal F-book page?
No, I don't really get on Facebook very often.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. This is a quote from the letter to the Thessalonians from Paul. And it says, while people are saying peace and safety, and that's in quotes, destruction will come on them suddenly and labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. The hair stand up on the back of your neck.
That's interesting.
The Apostle Paul said, hey, while all you people out there are worrying about and concerning yourself with peace and safety, destruction will come on them suddenly as labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. If that's not prophetic, I don't know what is. For all of you peace and safety people out there, you need to read a little something from John Stuart Mill. Yeah, you need to read Thessalonians.
Yep.
You need to read Proverbs. Yep. There are more important things than safety. Liberty is more important than safety. Yes, it is. Liberty is more important than safety.
Jess just left a comment in the grad program Discord server. He said, my 8-year-old daughter asked me if the adults know what they're doing, because if they keep changing the rules, and adults that change the rules a lot usually don't know what they're doing. I got a kick out of that. That's pretty funny.
Oh, can I get an amen? Can I get an amen, ladies and gentlemen? I think I can get an amen, and I'm going to get one.
Jess, what's your daughter's name?
All right. One other thing that I want to talk about is a Patriot Bookshelf. A lot of you guys out there,
Annabelle, rock on, Annabelle.
Yeah, a lot of you guys out there are in a position right now to positively influence your friends, neighbors, coworkers who have woken up, who have said to you, you know, I kind of used to think you were a crackpot. I kind of used to think that some of the stuff you said was pretty, far out there. But given what's going on now, yeah, you might have known what you're talking about. So what do you say to those people? What do you say? Well, number one, Jarrad, open up, and Zach too, open up the Patriot Bookshelf. And how do you spell Thessalonians? Thessalonians. Thessalonian. Okay. Right now, the Patriot Bookshelf is filled with information that you can use to help these people who've recently had an awakening. People who've said, you might have been right. And it probably pains them to say it, but a lot of these people are like, you might have been right. So, Jarrad, what 3 books from the Patriot Bookshelf, if you were going to recommend 3, and there's a lot on there, let's say that you are one of those people, that one of your coworkers comes up to you or sends you a message and says, before this crisis, I thought you were kind of a whack job, but now I believe. What 3 books would you recommend to them from the Patriot Bookshelf?
I'm scrolling through right now. I would pick Liberal Fascism, Political Thought of the American Revolution. Let's see. Patriot Fireteam Manual, just because it's one of our books and I know it's in it. Maybe 1984, but everybody's pretty much read that.
Not everybody has. You read 1984 after you've had the awakening and you realize you're like, oh, now I understand why Winston had to go to room 101.
I would maybe even throw in Total Resistance in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here's my list for those who've just had an awakening. Patriot Fireteam Manual, check. Faith in the Patriot, check. And maybe, I I always like to recommend Patton's general principle. If you're one of these people and you want to lead, Patton's Principles for Life and Leadership.
Oh, that is on here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's been a while since I looked at this.
Yeah, a lot of good books there. So right now, you, ladies and gentlemen, my audience, have the opportunity. The opportunity is in front of you to positively influence the people who are whether they're church members, kids, parents at your kid's school, co-workers, maybe those relatives that thought you were a whack job because you were always getting prepared all the time. And now they're like, oh, maybe Paul wasn't such a crazy guy. Maybe he wasn't such a whack job. You can positively influence them. Turn them on to, this podcast, and maybe don't even do that. Maybe they're too weak to listen to me. There are some people in the world that are way too weak to listen to me, and if they listen to me, it wounds their inner child, and then they run away crying. So before you have them listen to me, have them go to the Patriot Bookshelf and get them a couple of books, or recommend a couple of books for them. Help them to get their head right before they listen, because I'm an acquired taste, and when weak people show up, I hurt their feelings, and they have to run away and change their depends. So sometimes you have to do a little bit of prep work. That's the way it is. All right, we're going to be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is a Thursday, and that means we're going to have a bonus hour for all you freaks and freakettes. Now, Jarrad, if they want to become a member of the grad program, how could they do that?
It's super easy. You want to know how? Go to getsotg.com, and I was just pulling it up because I want to look at something real quick. The book, the 5 strategies book that comes along with the 30-day trial. So when you go to getsotg.com, you will get a free book. You just pay shipping and handling, and then you get a 30-day access to the grad program to try it out, make sure it's right for you and you're right for it. But the book is 5 strategies that could save your life, tips from a professional bodyguard. Right now, in the time where people have things and they've been what is quote unquote called hoarding, essentially before the possibility of somebody coming and trying to take your stuff, it would probably be good to read this book, 5 security strategies, or 5 strategies that could save your life, because there are some home fortification tips in there as well. So go to getsotg.com, pay shipping and handling for the book. It's $7. I mean, you pay $7, you get the book. If you cancel the grad program membership because you figure out that it's not right for you, or you're not right for it after or before 30 days is over, then you can keep the book. We're not going to make you send that back.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk to you tomorrow if you're a grad program member. If not, we'll see you next week. Remember, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.